Hey everybody, we're back. The We Still Could guys. I'm Dan. I'm David.
Okay, what do you want to talk about today? You know what? I got one. So, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, just bloop, out of nowhere, came this announcement out of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, that essentially saying that high-speed internet access is ultimately a basic human right in this country now, and they're going to make sure that everybody has that. And
I think that sounds great.
Yeah, because
everybody should have it.
We're sitting in a house right now that has satellite access, and that creates some difficulties with what we like to do with these videos we shoot and the work we do. But there's a downside to this. The downside is it becomes a government-controlled commodity. It becomes a utility controlled by the government. You know, not too different than your telephone service or your electricity or your gas that comes to your house. All of those things, they become regulated, they become controlled, which means that somebody can turn the switch on, turn it off, turn it sideways. You know, you may not be able to go see the stuff that you like to go see on the internet. You may not be able to come to YouTube and see us. That concerns me. That concerns me that there's government takeover of yet another aspect of the private stuff that people organically have created in this country and have brought to market. The government wants to take. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's just another way that eventually they're slowly, you know, they're kind of like an inchworm. And they're slowly moving and positioning and squirming around, and eventually they will wind up taking that over. And I'll tell you, you know, the companies like Comcast and all these other companies, they don't need the government's help to ultimately, and it'll take a little bit of time, facilitate their efforts in getting everybody on the internet. And, you know, like Dan said, this connection here at this location right now is just awful. And, you know, we would love to have a better connection here, and one day I'm sure that we'll get that. But I would hate to get that at the cost or expense of more regulation from the government and, you know, their finger on the companies that can do this best and don't need their help. And basically it's just going to, you know, raise the fees and make everything restrictive. It could go back to being, you know, we're already seeing ways that they're taking away our liberties and taking away our freedoms. Now, again, this is just my opinion and Dan's opinion. But, you know, we see it more and more where we continue to lose things and they continue to gain more things in the sense of power and control over what we do, how we think, how we should act. And honestly, you know what? I don't think that's what this nation was built on and what it's intended to be.
And speaking of this nation, there are examples around the globe of countries who control the access to the internet for the population. And one of them is China. And the fact is, you know, there's a recent fight between China and Google about the censorship of the internet in that country. And Google said, screw you, we're picking up our servers, we're taking our ball and our jacks, and we're going to Taiwan. And you guys can deal with whatever you're doing. We're going to be over here. Let us know if you want to play this game right, by the right rules, and we'll play. You know, the other thing that came to mind was in Iran last year when they had all the riots and the upheaval after their election. They couldn't use the internet. It was turned down. They couldn't get out. So what did people do? People used their phones, and they Twittered and Facebooked and MySpace and whatever else crap they did with their phones because the internet was controlled. That's what I'm fearful of today, because here we go again, government and man thinking they have a better solution to something that already exists, works fine today, hasn't caused anybody any problems, but there's some minority group, meaning a small number of people out there that don't have either access or high-speed access, and they're going to prop up some Susie Homemaker in rural Nebraska who's going to cry a few crocodile tears that her son got frustrated because he couldn't finish some homework assignment because the internet was running at 28.8. Sorry. Don't know what to do about it.
Yep. Yep. And the worst part of it is, you know, I already seen the framework being built for this that's positioning it as a great thing. They sell us all this stuff that's supposed to just be these greatest things for our nation and mankind here in this United States of America. And okay, let's turn on our meters for a minute. That's not how it turns. I mean, every single time. It doesn't take a rocket scientist mentality to just look back through the history books at what they've continued to sell us and what has the ultimate outcome been. Financially, not only how it impacts the people of this nation, but how it impacts the government and the government spending. And where does the government get its money? Him, me, you, you know, the wealthiest, the poorest, we're all in there in some piece of the pie. We're all paying for stuff that we don't need. So turn your meter on. Again, you know, Dan and I are firm believers that this is just one more little snag in things that are being, you know, man-created, humanly created, but there's not going to be a human answer for it. So if we want change, if we want the real change that we need to look within ourselves, find that quiet space, find that quiet time, turn those bullshit meters on, and you know, make that connection with the power greater than ourselves. That's the only thing that's going to be able to save us and help restore this nation back to what it was. And if enough people start doing that every day, we will create a new collective conscience with new answers that will show up. The things that we need, the people that we need, and the places where we need them will show up. We will be able to manifest this as a nation. Not one guy, all of us together. And we'll be able to you know, get back to what we know, what we believe in our hearts.
You know, and that's what we're about here. We're not about you going out and making a change. We're about trying to get people to realize that we have man-made problems and it's going to take more than man to fix them. And that's a higher power. And we need to seek him out. We need to bring him into our lives. And then we can start moving in the right direction. So we hope you want to join us on that. Keep coming back. We'll have much more to say every day and every week. And, you know, tell a friend about us. And if you don't like us, tell all your enemies about us because they might like them too.
Yeah, well then maybe their enemies will like us.
Yeah.
Or you can at least watch us and throw stuff at your screens, you know. You can do that too if you like.
And check us out at westillcould.com. You can drop us a note there. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep. All right. Till next time, we love you.
Bye now.
See ya.